New Year's is coming up and I have some resolutions for myself. I've got two that I've laid out, one huge, one just less huge, I guess. But I have two resolutions that I would like to achieve next year. But before I go into that, I had a look at what happened last year. And I had some fairly good success last year. It was kind of like a semi-boring year in between the successes. But there wasn't a plan, right? It was like the first Ascendant was coming out. Let's jump on that. And I jumped on that and made some content. And those videos did really well. And thank you for watching them if you're still around. Then D4, and then some PoE 2, and then in between those kinds of games, they were just like random games that came out and I played for a week and then dropped them, like the Enshrouded update, and then some Valorant, then some, you know, some Rainbow Six Siege. So there wasn't really a plan. It's just everywhere, right? It's just the content was everywhere. There wasn't really an idea. So for next year, my plan is to have a better plan. And I've come up with that plan. So what I'm going to try and achieve for next year in 2025 is become the top 1% of players in CS, Valorant, and Rainbow Six Siege. I play all of these games, and I love FPS competitive games myself. I just don't play enough of them. And I also, when I jump into ranked, I get burnt out of them very quickly. So that's why I've chosen 3 games. Because if I just play Valorant all year next year, I just feel like I'm going to get burnt out. It's a pretty toxic game, and I feel that is just going to completely make me lose the love for the game, especially when you're trying to climb through Immortal, and what from other people say of climbing through Immortal, that it gets very toxic, right? Because there's pro players there and they want to become pro players, or they are trying to be pro players, and if you lose them the game, then it gets them further away, then they just start calling you whatever names, right? What does that mean in terms of the top 1% of those games? So in Valorant, I'm going to need to get to Immortal, which is kind of a feat in itself. That's when players start getting pretty crazy, okay? And the strats and all these kinds of things. So I'll be interested to really see how they kind of start coming together. I'm a Valorant player myself, right? I've been playing Valorant for like the last 2 years, and my peak is Ascendant 2. So I'm not too far away in terms of rank, but then like, what is the difference between an Ascendant 2 player, Ascendant 3, Immortal 1, Immortal 2? Like, how long is it going to take me? So that'll be pretty interesting to find out. But in CS, I've only really got to gold. A very long time ago, actually. I got to about gold. So that would be the real challenge right there, to get to global elite. The top 1% in CS is global elite. Or if you play Premier, it's like 20k points or something like that. It's about top 20k points, which again looks pretty crazy from looking at the stats that I've done some research on. And then in R6, I've only been playing R6 for about 3-4 weeks, and my fundamentals have come over from a lot of other games that I've been playing. The guns feel great, right? I'm not looking like when you go to Valorant and you look at the RNG on the gun and you're aiming down scope and the bullets are going left, right, and center. You're just like, why isn't this guy, you know, how are you alive still? You know what I mean? But in R6, I don't really question the guns in R6. It feels like a me issue. If the recoil has gone and it's taken control of me, then that's my problem, right? Because I haven't pulled down enough. I haven't like tried to control the gun enough. That's a skill issue on my part, which is something that I can get better at. But in Valorant, you ain't getting better at that. You don't know where the gun's going, what the recoil's doing. You've got no recoil control. None of that is out of your control. So I really enjoy the guns on Rainbow Six Siege, which is fantastic. I also enjoy the gunplay as well. It's very tactical, all those kinds of things. So it'd be really exciting for me to actually jump into that. And I'm really actually looking forward to jumping into some rainbows and kind of progressing up into the kind of the ranks in there. The top 1% in Rainbow is Emerald 4. And it looked pretty kind of like low down. So I don't know really what that means. Like, is it super difficult to climb in Rainbow Six Siege? Like, is it very difficult to get up beyond Emerald because that's where the 1% mark is? Or is there just not many players? Or is that because there's not many PC players and there's more console players? Like, I don't know the stats there, right? So it'll be interesting to find out for myself. Like, is everyone just insane in Rainbow? You know what I mean? Or is it like loads of hackers? Is whatever, right? In CS, there's a lot of hackers, right? So it's very difficult to kind of, for me, playing the game. I'm like silver right now in R6. So I'd be very interested to see where to go from there. But yeah, that's my plans for next year. And that's my streaming plans for next year. My actual personal plans for next year, if you want to know, is I want to start turning the content creation into my main kind of source of income. That's my personal plan for next year. I want to be able to live off of the content that I make, whether it's on Twitch, on stream, or whether it's on YouTube or TikTok or whatever, right? I post on all of these platforms. I stream daily. I do all the things that a content creator should be doing. I've seen some small growth. Last year, we saw quite a lot of my YouTube grew more last year than it ever has done. My Twitch less so, but that just is what it is, right? And that's just a problem that I need to kind of try and solve, whether I'm not entertaining to watch or whatever. Like, that's just me needing to evaluate myself, just like I would evaluate my own gameplay. That's stuff that I need to do, right? The content that I'm going to be posting for next year on the channel, it's just going to be me memeing. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not an how-to kind of guy. You don't come to me for how-tos, right? I just mess around on stream. I scream a lot. That just is what it is. I'm not a how-to kind of guy. I'm not going to sit here and teach you how to play FPS games. I've got some tips, obviously, but that's it. But what I would like is for you guys watching this video, if you've got any tips on Valorant, CS, especially actually Rainbow Six Siege. I've been playing Valorant for like 2 years. I kind of got an idea of how the game works. I've got no idea how CS works, and I've got no idea how Rainbow works. So if you've got any tips for me to kind of take on this challenge for next year, please put them in the comment section below. I would love to read them. But guys, please like the video, subscribe, all the YouTube things, and I'll see you in the next video.